Hey everybody, how's it going? This is the study session for the moon, La Luna. Let's get a little loony. Alright, so we're going to start off by talking about, we've got the Earth, the moon, and why the moon goes around Earth. And that's called an orbit. We learned about that for our last test. And there's two forces. The first one is what Isaac Newton referred to in his first law that talks about an object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by another force. So what that means is that the moon, if we didn't have Earth's gravity pulling on the moon would just fly off into space like this. Woo! There it goes. Bye-bye, moon. Okay. However, the Earth does have gravity, and that gravity pulls on the moon directly towards the Earth. So if we didn't have inertia, the moon would come crashing into the Earth. Ah! Okay? But because we've got both inertia pulling this way and we've got gravity coming this way, they kind of cancel each other out, and it turns into the path around the Earth called an orbit. So inertia plus gravity equals orbit. And then not only does the moon go around the Earth, but the Earth goes around the sun with the same way. The same forces are happening there. Alright, so because the moon goes around, we see different phases of the moon. So we see a full moon, a gibbous moon, or gibbous moon, as Miss J likes to say, a quarter moon, a crescent moon, and a new moon. Now, the confusing thing is that a quarter moon is where we actually see half of the moon lit up. But if you think about the entire moon itself, we're only seeing 1/4 of it. Alright, so let's talk about and waning. So, waxing. I'm waxing, I'm waxing, I'm waxing. That means I'm getting bigger. I'm the moon, I'm getting bigger. The shade is on the left-hand side. I'm going to show you guys a nice little diagram that will help you remember this. Waning is getting smaller. I'm waning, I'm waning, I'm waning. And that's where the shade is on the right-hand side. So, little diagram looks like a person. You've got googly eyes and a nose and a mouth. And you draw in the eyes like this. And this represents the shade on the Earth, or on the moon. So on the top we've got waning and waxing. These represent like the eyebrows. So on a waning moon, you've got, this is the lit up part is on the left hand side and the shade is on the right hand side. And then for a waxing moon, you've got the shade on the left and the lit up part on the right. That's just a nice little graphic that you can write, as soon as you get a test or something, or when you're studying. This is something you can use as a visual to help you. So if you see all of these waning moons, they have the lit up part on the left hand side. And then on the waxing moons, lit up parts on the right hand side. Got it? Alright, next slide. Oh, okay, so the moon is really cool in the fact that its rotation and revolution are exactly the same amount of time. And we actually say 27.5 days is how long it takes to go around if the moon and the Earth weren't moving around the sun. But because we move around the sun, it takes a little bit longer to catch up, so we say it's 29 days. So that's 29 days for the moon to make one full trip around the Earth. Starting with, let's say we start with a new moon, it'd get bigger up until it goes to a full moon, and then it gets smaller. I'm waning, I'm waning, I'm waning, I'm waning, until it's back to a new moon again. That takes 29 days. And because it spins on the same amount of time, we always see the same side of the moon, which is kind of cool. We never see the back side of the moon. The only people that have seen the backside of the moon are astronauts that have gone around, or satellites that we've sent with cameras to see the backside of the moon, which is kind of cool, kind of fun little fact. All right. So the other piece of information here is, so the moon goes around. It takes 29 days to go around. So in each day that we see the moon, like each night that we see the moon, it's not moving very far around the Earth, but it looks like, if this is my ground, it looks like at night that the moon starts and it goes across the sky and then it sets on the other side, just like the sun does. And so people used to think that the moon would go around and around and around and would go around once every day. That's actually not true. The moon takes 29 days to go all the way around, but the Earth is spinning. It's rotating. So we see the moon rise in the sky and set because we are actually spinning. The moon isn't moving as fast as it looks like it is. So that's another little piece of information that'll help you. If you have any questions, let Mrs. Briarcliff, Miss J, or me know. We're happy to help you, and good luck on your corrections and on your retake. Bye-bye.